Alright dudes, Nate from 8020 back at you for another lesson of the week. And today I wanted to share with you some of the stuff I'm doing to prepare for a clinic that I'm doing this January in LA that's got me a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit nervous. It's going to be with some killers. Somehow I managed to squeak my way onto the program and a little bit over my head. Oh, by the way, you guys like my new haircut? Hire me, surf with me. Hire me, surf with me. See what I did there? Okay, so this is Nate preparing for improvisation shed. And basically I know that I can't compete with the Mason Guidrys and Nick Smiths in terms of just raw speed, or with the Justin Tysons in terms of just crazy orchestration. But I really think you have to come back to this concept I always talk about with upload speed, and the idea that it's more about how well you pull off what you're trying to do and the strength of your ideas, that Brian Blade stuff. At least that's what I'm telling myself. So I want to take you through a quick series I'm doing. Let's just start with a beat. I want to play a beat that's in 5, and I'll show you kind of a 2 or 3 stage sequence that I go through to practice shedding. So very first thing I would normally do, I'm not going to show this to you in the video, it's all over my course, is the looping exercise. All right, I'll show you just a little bit. So say I'm just playing a groove in 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you saw what I did there. Essentially, if I were doing that in real life, I would stretch each idea out longer so that it's really a way to narrow the scope of things for your brain. Because when you're practicing improvisation, obviously, there are a million things you can do. You want to stop your brain from getting into that headspace of, oh, there's this new lick I learned that I want to try to throw in right here. So the looping exercise, which I learned really when I was practicing brushes, is something that I'll go to a lot. But say I've already gone through that, and now I just want to practice shedding. So obviously, it's a little like jazz. I'm going to practice trading with myself. And the first thing I'm going to do is just play like 2 bars of groove and then 2 bars of trading, and I'm going to make it super easy. I'm just going to do snare drum, no rim shots. So let's try that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then say maybe I want to start to incorporate some toms. So let's say I want to do only snare drum, no rim shots, floor tom, and hats, and we're still doing 2 bars of each. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you can take that textural thing, I've talked about it in a lot of lessons before, and you can expand it to different things, like only toms, including the ride cymbal, rim shots, no rim shots. That's all well and good. But another thing I want to do is broaden the textural possibilities. So a bunch of people were asking me how to play straight 8th, straight 16th grooves. And one thing I've really been digging on lately is doing the groove with like a left hand catching all the hi-hat ghost notes except for the snare drum rim shot, and the right hand on the ride cymbal or the rack tom rim, and then just flowing from that into improv. So again, we're going to do 2 bars and 2 bars, and the same pattern I was doing before with no rim shots on the snare and floor tom, and we'll see what comes out of that. I think it'll be some different textural possibilities. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So eventually we're going to want to open up the scope of the improv a little bit to include 4 and 8 bar phrases. So let me show you an example of that. And I'm going to slow it down just a little bit so that I can get into the 16ths a little more and really bite. I'm also going to allow any surface but no rim shots, and then maybe we'll transition into some rim shots. So again, this is grooving in 5, trading 4s with myself, and then doing the 4s as if I'm shedding, but not putting pressure on myself to remember the licks I came up with, but really just to come up with musical phrases. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now I'm going to do the sort of final incarnation of this, which is a similar thing, but I'm just going to take the reins off, allow myself to do rim shots, allow myself to do sextuplets when it's appropriate, and just see what happens. 3, 4, 5. Etc. And that's the magic, kids. There's no other magic than that except grinding through that. You know, if you get to a point where you feel like you're not executing what you want to do, back it off, simplify the surfaces, just as I was discussing before. So this is Nate's blueprint to prepare for a shed, essentially. And by the way, I like to practice in odd meters because then when I switch over to 4, there's just less for the brain to think about. So it's a little like putting a donut on your bat. It's a little bit superstition. It might not be real, but you know, if I'm doing 5, then I can do 4. Etc. I mean, didn't completely nail that, but it just makes it easier for me. Obviously, another thing I'm practicing is extreme dynamic contrast. That's an important thing. You want to be able to play really loud, but you also want to keep that touch. That's kind of the secret. So yeah, that's my lesson. I'll be back again next week with another lesson of the week. And dudes, if you've been enjoying the lessons, you feel like maybe you're ready to study with me, I recommend my course, the 80/20 coaching course, which is like 6 months to a year of studying with me for around the price of 1 to 2 lessons. And if you're looking for a gateway drug to that, I recommend my 3 free video series. You can get those by clicking on the screen right here. It's 3 drum videos that'll make you better in the next 3 weeks than you've gotten in the last 6 months. Check it out by clicking on the screen. Dudes, it's been real. I'll be back soon for another lesson of the week. This is Nate. One love.